What split-second decision changed your life? What I did after being followed by a serial killer to my doorstep. In 2004, I lived in an apartment complex in Seoul, South Korea. I was a stay-at-home mother with a young daughter, and my husband worked during the days. One day, I was coming home from running errands with my daughter and got onto the elevator in my building. When I got on, I noticed that there was a man wearing a cap and a yellow raincoat, and he kept his head low so that I couldn't really see his face. I immediately felt really uneasy, and I made my daughter stand by my side, furthest away from the man. What made me feel even more uncomfortable was that when I pressed the button for my floor, there was no other lit number. And on top of that, I noticed that he was carrying something wrapped in a newspaper close to his side. Things started to click in my head and I started to panic and decided to take out my cell phone and pretend I was calling home to my husband, who was obviously really not at home and at work. I started saying things like, "Oh, I'm on the elevator and about to get off. Can you get the door for me?" And making it seem like my husband was waiting at home. When the elevator did reach my floor, I quickly got off and grabbed my daughter, and started to walk as fast as I could to my apartment. I noticed that the man also got off on my floor and was slowly following me down the hallway. When I got to my door, I started to bang on it and shout, "Hey, Yobo, I'm home. Please open the door," and kind of pretended like he was coming to answer the door. Upon seeing this, the man in the yellow raincoat started to walk away back towards the elevator. When he seemed to be far away enough, I quickly picked up my daughter and slid open and started to frantically punch in my key code. But the problem was that the buttons would make sounds, so the man knew that no one was going to answer the door for me, and he turned around and started to run back towards me. At this point, I was practically screaming, and when I finally got my door to open, the first thing I did was throw my daughter in through the door. When I got in myself, I saw that the man was pretty much inches from the door, but I managed to shut it and lock it before he could wedge his hand or weapon into the door. Afterward, looking through the door's peephole, I saw that the man was walking away back towards the elevator. Several months later, I was watching the news and there was coverage of the capture of a serial killer named Yu Young-chul who used to kill a lot of escorts. I could never forget the dread I felt when I saw the all-too-familiar yellow raincoat and hat that he was wearing when apprehended.